Kelly here. In this video we're finishing up some work on the walls on the front end of the trailer and start the back end. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, this is where we're at today. Continuing to take things apart because I find before I start putting things back together over here, we had some rot down here, and then this bottom piece of frame was rotten, and as I kept going along, I was going to try and replace it without taking off this piece of sheet metal, but the access was just too difficult, and then taking out the screws. Well, this looks good. Their screws and nails were showing that it was rotten, so I'm going to replace that. And the bottom part of this one's the same story. And in the process, the back wall's real rotten, but I'm going to start to put some structure together before we do that. And that's where we're at right now. It's slowly come together. Ordered up some new tail light or clearance lights today. Those were not cheap. I had to buy those out of the US, but they'll look good. See you at the next update. So something I've learned watching lots of videos on this, the one thing a lot of people say is take lots of pictures, and I've learned you can't take enough, because I started planning out putting this wall back together, and I thought I'd taken lots of pictures and good pictures, and then when I went back and reviewed my pictures, it's like, I don't know if I got enough. I had to really think to figure out where some of the boards, the structure went. And another thing I've done is every piece I take off, I write on the back of it what it's from. So this is a drip cap that was above the entry door. And the same thing, I've done the same thing with the windows, and every part I take off is getting labeled, because when you're taking it off, you don't think you'll forget what that is, but when you're putting it back together, there's going to be so many pieces that I'm going to be glad I did that. Talk to you soon. Here you can see some of the rot around the entry door area. More wood to replace. Okay, we've made some good progress on the deconstruction, and we're just about ready to, we've done some reconstruction and ready to start putting things together in the front end. So I've replaced this bottom piece right here, because that was all rotten. It was just bare wood exposed to the weather. So when I put it back together, I'm going to do some weather protection on there. And it's screwed into place, and then I got pocket holes holding the bottom of the studs in place. On the framing for the entry door, it was rotten a fair ways up, and because I'm not taking that piece of aluminum off, or I don't expect to have to, and I did this here, and with everything I've done there, it's stronger than if I just would have replaced the board. Little bit of rot down here I had to replace. Now this doesn't have pocket holes because these boards are so thin, and I made this one a little wider to give it a little more strength. I'm not worried about this knot because it's in the center, it's not on the edge. And then when the front wall goes on, this wall will become very sturdy because it's attached to the front wall. So yeah, that's where we're at today. So tomorrow we're going to start cutting a new piece of paneling to go in there. Actually, I was going to just go part way up, but I actually put a panel in there, didn't like the look of it. So I'm going to take out everything from the door forward, and then we're going to put one solid piece in there. It's going to look a lot better, and decided I should quit being so cheap with the wood. Talk to you soon. Well, here's an example of how I'm going to build it stronger. I just took out this piece of paneling that was up here, and there's a piece of stud. It was basically tacked onto the paneling and not onto the other structure. And then the other thing, this is the door header. Well, this side had 2 staples, this side had 1. No wonder it is cracking above the door here like this. So we'll be making that a lot better. Yeah, I'm about ready to cut the panel for the inside, and just wanted to show you what I've done to reinforce the structure. So I've added a number of pocket screws, like here. This was just held in place by being nailed to the inside paneling. This piece here, same thing, and this is the backing for the aluminum where it's stapled on. And the interesting thing is it wasn't attached here, and it didn't even fit snug. I actually had to put a spacer in there. On the header, I've put a couple pocket screws in each one of those, and also you can see I've stapled to the outside some more aluminum reinforcement just to make those joints a little stronger, so that crack in the aluminum above the door will not travel. So now there's a lot of measuring. Okay, I've got the interior panel rough fitted. It's all cut, and I did a test fit on, had to do a little trimming, and now I've got some of the insulation in because the aluminum is still there, so I wouldn't be able to put it in afterwards unless I remove the aluminum. So here we go with installing the interior panel. Okay, panel is in, and too many curves, too much stuff not square. It took a while, but it's in. The trick will be getting the little gaps finished there, and of course I'm putting another piece for over the header. So got some stuff done today. It's coming together. It's nice to do a little progress rather than just destruction. Talk to you soon. Good morning. Okay, so this panel that we put in yesterday, the glue is dry, and if you remember how wobbly this wall was, look how sturdy it is now. And this, where the door is really sturdy with extra framing. So today, gonna put insulation in there, and same place on the other side. Got one piece of paneling to do there above the entry door, and then going to run a ground wire for the front clearance lights, because the trailers well into the into the 80s, they still didn't use ground wires. All they did was a screw from the light into aluminum skin and hoping all the connections would make a ground, and then the rusty screw going from holding the clearance light would hopefully make a ground. And then of course you had the crappy little 57 bulb in there that always corroded too. So I've got new tail lights on order. They're replicas of what was originally in here, but they're LED and they're stainless steel, and they'll look real nice, and no point in putting in nice lights without nice wiring. So that's today's projects, and we'll see where we get to, and maybe we'll get past that. Talk to you soon. Okay, despite, well, we got quite a bit of progress made today. So we got this panel in above the entry door. That's glued and stapled. Insulation in on both sides. Run that ground wire I was talking about, so it's goes from that clearance light around to this clearance light, and then I ran it through the wall along the line of the clearance light wire, but then I ran it down here so we can attach it to the frame. Took this door off, which is the water heater door and the back of the oven. So, and it looks like that water heater's been replaced because they just chewed the heck out of it and destroyed this door. It's tough shape. So we'll see if that can be resurrected or if I got to find a replacement. And then made a little more progress, and we've got started taking the back end off of the trailer. There's actually less rot. Of course, there's less stuff to rot. There is no structure back there. So we might add some when we put her back together. And as we take things apart, we'll decide if we've got to take these sidewalls off. Oh, another thing I did, all these boards were here, right here. There's the galley window. But I put pocket holes in all of them where I could to make them strong, because the only thing holding them in place is where they were nailed to the inside paneling. So we're just slowly making this trailer stronger. And oh, by the way, you've probably noticed the video is filling the screen now. Yeah, it took Kelly a minute to figure out how to make a YouTube video. Okay, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Well, the trailer's slowly coming together, and next video we're going to start taking the rear end of the trailer out the back wall. Talk to you soon.